In the last few years, a lot of our smaller libraries, such as Glasgow, have become totally volunteer-led and delivered services. So they run the library, they do all the day-to-day duties within the library to keep it running, and do a lot of other things as well, and come up with a lot of good ideas about events and activities in the library.
We really wanted to see if there would be an uptake in people using the library for art purposes.
And the idea really, I think, is to get the local community, and in this case young people, young children, involved and engaged in the arts.
My name is Becky Salt and I'm an education practitioner at the New Vic Theatre. I run sessions with children of all ages from 2 to up until they leave education, and we do different sessions varying on different skills based on drama and theatre. And we want to see a development in the children's engagement, so opening their eyes to different stories. How long can they engage for? What will they bring to the sessions? Do they add to the story? And it's all very personal development for each child, so we want to see the art for each individual.
Eyes are wide and raisin face. Raisin face goes a bit like this. And pumpkin face.
The most important thing is to allow creativity, so something that they don't necessarily get in the education system, to open their minds, inspire them and give them an opportunity to get their imaginations going. So what can they think of, and anything's possible in the session, so giving them confidence, literacy skills.
I want to take it home and watch show Mummy and Daddy and Benji.
Twins to woo is making this awful ahoo. Very good. Wave them in the sky.
So I want to see a development throughout the children, so each individual has a different development path, and see their journey, so coming from whether they don't engage at all at the very start, and then how they develop from to the very end, and what do they bring to the session, so what ideas do they think of, can they add anything, or do they suggest things, and then see them socially interact and how their confidence and having a vocal ability throughout the sessions.
Right, you remember that one? Okay.
There's been fantastic progress and very quick progress as well. So from the very start, there was sometimes limited engagement, but still very enthusiastic to the idea, but not necessarily knowing exactly what to say, or did they have the ability, or what was the premises of allowing the opportunity? Did they know that you could say anything? To the point where today's session was very energetic. They were very engaged throughout.
2, 3, please, princess, abracadabra.
Set out from the very beginning that it's together. We're exploring this together. I'm not saying where we're going to go. They will help me make where we're going to go. So they will help structure what adventure we go on. And if they come up with a brilliant idea, we're going with it, because we want them to believe that what their opinions and what their ideas are matter, particularly going out into the world.
Oh, very good. And stop. And wriggle. And stop. Oh, and wriggle. And stop.
No, I think it's just using the imagination. That's what appeals to me. Children don't use their imagination very often. Well, they've got computers and it's already done for them, isn't it? Getting them to read and actually imagine things and listen to a story and put pictures in their own mind. That is what would be good to do, you know.
I think there's a lot of restrictions in life at the moment, particularly to younger children, saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. And by having these sessions saying, yes, anything's possible, allows them to believe that creativity and imagination is what's really needed in education and in particularly in life.
I do the getting big and getting small, and then look at them and go on, you have to burst big.
So I'm Jill Rezzano, I'm Head of Education at the New Vic Theatre in Newcastle under Lyme. So today we are midway through our rehearsal period for our commission, which is going to be performed next week in libraries. It's called Bobby in the Blue Room, and it's been developed through the project that we've been running with Staffordshire Libraries, and in particular in Glascote.
She wrote on the board our topic.
So the really brilliant thing about this commission was we were able to spend quite a lot of time with the children on a week-by-week basis in Glascote, and through that we could really understand them more, understand their lives and the things that meant something, especially in terms of change, and change is at the heart of the piece. So what would you never want to change? What is all right and even good to change? And also, what does story mean to you, and what makes a good story? And there's one particular story in the piece itself, and they had a session with Becky all about the outdoors and exploring the outdoors, and that has really influenced the work as well.
So it's the bit where you don't know who's looking out of your window now.
I wonder who's looking at the man with the ladder now.
So we're spending a lot of time thinking about how that might work, and also thinking very much about the detail of it. What we want to do is really create a very intimate space. The children are going to be very close to us, so whatever world we're creating for them has to feel very authentic. Whatever we pick up, it has to feel like a real object. It has to go somewhere. It has to travel in space as it would. So we want to create a world that feels very real and natural to the children, that they can reach out and touch and also be part of.
And then when you come out, you tell them
Hopefully the difference it's made is that they will find the place they come to, the library they come to, quite a magical place, quite a transforming place. They'll feel happy and comfortable, and it's a place they want to be that's full of story.
Just until the spider babies have all grown up.
It's an arts project and a craft project, and it's been funded by the council, and we were chosen, this library, to host it, and which we were very pleased about, and it's been very successful. I think it's brought a lot of people in.
I'm Michaela McMillan and I'm a mixed media artist, and I use recycled materials and papers and collected objects and donations to create sculptures that have a story around them. So it's all about the narrative.
It's an extension of the library being a source of information, a source of community, a place for the community to come.
Okay, so this residency, championing the work that volunteers do here, and the fact that it's running. I didn't know anything about the libraries or community-led libraries. And there's an army of over 30 people here running this and keeping it open on Friday and Saturday. So I've come in and I'm using the story of the volunteers and of Wateralton and encouraging people to come in and engage in arts activities.
The links there.
So I've got a different activity each weekend when they're in, and it's always something that can be quite complex for people who have skills already or quite basic, so that if you're coming in and not having done it before, you can just pick something up and learn some new skills. That everybody can come in and contribute a small piece and then make something larger. So it's all about collaborative working, and just doing 5 minutes of something can make a difference and can produce something beautiful.
It's through his feet.
There are volunteers here who have skills already, and so I'm hoping that they might have the confidence to offer, maybe not weekly, but maybe once a month, that if they set up something, people can come in and take part in it. Trying to raise awareness of the community-led libraries in school, so I had a little chat with them, with the students about that. Was one of the first things I did, about explain why I was here, and then work with the mixed media. It was on a subject that they were using in art anyway, so we chose growth and decay, and I've been looking at growth with the library as well, so that kind of fitted in. And then we've just had 2 days just off timetable, which is so fantastic. They're year 11, so they're all art students who want to come in and work in this way anyway. and they've been allowed to explore with the materials and create sculptures around their theme, and then we're going to exhibit them at the library, and they're going to be there for a week and then come back to the students here. They've got fantastic ideas. They're really experimental, and so they start off with one idea and they've allowed the materials to then steer them in another way. And it's all been kind of around this idea of storytelling and starting off with the theme and then letting it move on and develop. So I'm really impressed with their work. Loved it. All of the projects have just been 1 week projects, and I wanted to do something that we could do over a period of time. So this last piece of work has taken 4 sessions over 3 or 4 weeks, I think. It was about making something that was going to be left, which was quite eye-catching and could be talked about and had a life, so it is made fairly robustly. Sometimes some of the things that we do are quite ethereal and they just last for a moment in time, but I wanted to make something that was going to stand up for, I don't know, a year or something.
It has been absolutely superb, just absolutely unique to the village, I think, and I have enjoyed it tremendously. It's just lovely being with people, chatting with people, and producing something out of, well, I won't say rubbish because it's not rubbish, but recycled stuff, that's the word. Producing these wonderful, wonderful items.
Well, I think it's been very exciting, and it's brought a lot of people into the library that maybe wouldn't normally come in. And it's been exciting to see all different ages working together to do some of the projects that Michaela's been involved in. And a lot of our volunteers have joined in, as well as customers.
It puts it to the test.
It's unusual, it's really unusual. It's been creative, unusual, good ideas, things I wasn't expecting at all, the weaving and the cups and the everything's been so unique. I think it's been really interesting.
I think that a lot of the volunteers and some of the people who've come in are surprised at what they can actually achieve with doing the activities, and Michaela being such a good leader and artist has been really encouraging, and I think people have achieved perhaps more than they thought they could.
It's all been something I've never done before, even though I've enjoyed craft work. And it's been absolutely uplifting as well. It has been amazing, yes.
Oh, very coordinated as well. Lovely, thank you, Charlotte. I am about, I'd say, a third of the way through the making process of making the piece, the commission that's going to go into the library. I've got the base of it, and I've got the main sculptural components put together. And now it's kind of all about the telling the story through the images and the materials that I use that are going to go onto the main piece. I've titled her The Mother of Libraries. That's what the piece is called. And she is a female kind of patron saint of the voluntary libraries, and I'm putting lots of references on the sculpture about the residency, about how I see the volunteers doing their job. So, growing the community, everybody putting a little bit in and coming up with this hub of Water Orton. And so that's what she is. She's the mother of libraries, and that's what the piece is.
I'm a textile artist, but I also work across different kinds of media, working with patterns and stories that I express through stitch and print and mixed media. I'm really interested in research and creating work that tells a story, so there's always some kind of deeper story behind the work. Even if it looks purely decorative, there's usually something behind it. So this project is really interesting because it's about people and how people interact with each other, and how a community works. So that's my kind of research route into this project.
What I would like it to achieve is two things: greater throughput to the library itself, so we make sure that our community knows what the library is for and can make best use of it, and that means all ages. And also, if it could lead to more volunteers coming away, that would be even better.
The holly stamps come out really nicely. Got really lovely crisp edges. What I'd really like to see at the end is that some of the participants are really exploring their own creativity and trying new things and carrying on doing drawing or printing or painting or decorative patterns at home purely for their own pleasure and enjoyment. And ideally, some of those would carry on through to activities that they run in the library, or that the volunteers have learnt new skills that they can share through different workshops as well.
Your roots up and just wipe.
That's a good question. Well, what I've tried to devise is activities that aren't too challenging and can be a 5-minute activity and don't need a lot of extra skill, and particularly with older people, techniques that don't necessarily need really good eyesight or hands. So a lot of what I do is embroidery, hand embroidery, which is really challenging for a lot of people. So that's why I'm simplifying the activities, and it'll lead to some embroidery for those that are interested, and that's what I will do. But keeping the activities kind of fun and quite messy and things that they might not do at home, and just introducing some new ideas like cyanotype photos, which we've been doing using the bright light and sunshine that we've got today, and some of the nice weather that we've had this autumn. Oh no, they are. What about those bits? Get it straight in. Get hold of it.
How that's cast in the shadow.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's
circles.
nice. I like that. Yeah, years ago.
So today I've been out on a village walk, walking around the local village and looking for patterns and textures that I can include in the commission. So working with local people who know the village and know where there's interesting details has been really nice. So we've been all the way around the old part of the village, around the church. I had a lovely chat about the history of the village as well. So that's all really nice added extra that I can add into my commission.
I'm chairman of the group that runs the library, have been since we were founded in 2015. I'm an ex-librarian as well, so I couldn't let the place close. It's been great to be involved. As a community hub, which is what we are, encouraging people to get involved in new things, different things and so on should be what we're doing.
Very, very, very interesting. All the different techniques, all the different colours, the different things she does. I mean, she's a very clever person.
Yeah. I'm all right. Don't need to go back. So.
Well, I don't know what
I loved seeing the result, to be honest. You know, seeing stuff displayed that people have done, to look in on 2 or 3 of the sessions and see people engaged and enjoying what they're doing. You know, that's what it's all about.
It's wonderful to work with professionals. There is a definite difference between working with a professional than there is us supporting each other, and that quality and that vision is something that you can only but commend that Ruth's got, and that's what makes her stand out as somebody who's really enhanced our work in the library.
I think it's brilliant because it makes you look at the place with a different pair of eyes. And I've seen things that I've walked past hundreds of times and never even seen. And I think that's one of the real values in it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Ruth produces at the end of this. I really am.
This stage of working on the commission is really good fun because I've had loads of material to work with. So I've had all of the participants' drawings and print, and so lots and lots of photographs, and then I've got a sketchbook full of ideas and material that we developed during the workshops. And then it's a case of kind of selecting the most interesting bits and the bits that work best and start putting them together and seeing how it grows. So it's quite an organic process of putting the colours together and seeing which ones work and what really tells the story of the residency. So this piece is an embroidery that I started working on during the residency, so doing a daily stitch, a record of the colours and patterns and textures that we were exploring in the workshops, and I've turned that into an embroidery. And for the rest of the quilted book, a lot of it will be using digital prints based on designs that participants in workshops created. The idea of the book is it's very tactile. It's important for people to be able to touch it and handle it and engage with it in as a tactile piece of work rather than something that just hangs on the wall. And I wanted to use the kind of book format, a textile book format, because obviously it's a library and we've been working with books, and but also to still have that feel of a kind of handmade textile artwork, of the kind of thing that I normally make.